Resources are with crucial importance in Call of Dragons, especially if you're in extremely competitive alliance that want you non-stop to fight, and you're like, oh my god, brother, I have only donkeys, what I'm going to do? So in this video, I'm going to share with you how I manage my resources, what I do, basically everything you need to know about the resource management. And so far, I have never need a farm. This season, for the first time, thanks to Home Kingdom migrations, I was, back in the days was 5k gems, but you can only go in the servers that are currently in your division. But right now you can go whatever you like. So I finally bring my farm with me. So I'm going to share with you also what I do with my farms. It's not going to be only for me and my farms. I'm going to go also over single tips if you don't have farm, how to proceed there. But before I share with you how to manage your resources, make sure you hit one like on the video. And first thing is how to get that resources. To manage resources, you need to have resources. And first thing is going over the forts. Definitely go and don't go for the Darkling Patrols, go for forts if you want to go with resources. But here's the thing with the forts. I have to mention that you have a chance to get speedups for research, speedups for building, universal speedups, and training speedups. And this is not a good option to go for. And the reason is, if you're tier 5 end game player, you have all the buildings maxed, you only need training speeds and universal speedups. So definitely go for Darkling Patrols. But if you want to go and get more resources, the forts is the way. From there, what I do with my farm, I'm going to share with you what I do with the farm. After this, what before that I was doing. With my farm, I go only for gold, I go for woods, and I go for ore. This is the main priority. And I go for 2 mines of wood, 2 mines of ore, and 1 mine of gold. I'm going to explain later why I do that. And with my main account, basically the burgers, I'm going for the mana nodes. Mana nodes, all my 5 heroes are farming only mana. Here's the thing. Even some player can actually give you some resources, for example, if you need, but it cannot be mana. You can get from your farm all the resources, but you cannot get the mana. So mana, and this is the main reason why so many people, when we are speaking about resource healing in the wars, everybody talking about the mana. Because they don't care about the rest of the resources. They're going to get it either from the 5 farms they have. Some people are having so many farms. Look at this thing. This is so many farms right now. I mean, but anyway, my point is go with your main account for the mana. And some extra tip I'm going to give for the farms is go for researches only based for the economy. Don't care about the military. Some people are actually boosting the military of the farm so they can get some extra merits, to kill their farm. But I don't like this type of farming. I prefer just to, if I need the merits, I prefer just to ask somebody, hey bro, can you help me getting some merits? And he's going to put his 5 cavalry legions outside and I'm going to kill them. Way more easy from this to focus over some unnecessary stuff that is going to boost the power of your farm. And yeah, never go over 15 million about the farm because it's going to be counted in the KVK. This is not good, not good. My farm is around 4 million, so it's no issue. But I go for the nodes inside the castle, for the resources in the castle from these mines. Mint, limber mill, those type of stuffs, and I focus over the gathering. I need gathering because with the gathering you get the most resources. The resources in the castle is not going to help you that much. So this is how I get my resources. Of course, events and this type of stuffs, but I never spent a gems over resources. How do you avoid wasting resources in the KVK? Now, this is a very good question. The simple answer is free healing. What I mean by free healing? Yeah, elixirs. You just gather elixirs. Of course, save your elixirs for other specific moment. But if you constantly do some PvP, especially when the gate 1 open, the moment the gate 1 open is the most easy merits farming and you're going to get some elixirs. And every day you're going to use your hospital. And this is the main thing in the KVK. Try to constantly keep your hospital full, and like this you're going to get the merits, the kills, everything. You're going to save when it's needed because sometimes it's going to be very hard. The battles, days, if not week, fighting, sometimes couple weeks, like 1-2 weeks fighting over something. So you're not going to have opportunity to farm with your main account, and your main account is the mana one. Of course, you can get back from the battlefield at a specific point, but we're going to also talk about this. But in general, be consistent in the PvP engagements. And like this, you're going to get elixirs and extra benefits from the merit shops. Why resource management is critical for success? Well, by starting the game Call of Dragons, at the beginning, you're going to need a building. And here's the thing, little tip from me right there, is when you start, focus over your castle. Some people want to make some PvP with, oh my god, I have tier 3, 200k, tier 3. Yeah, I make an account back in the days where I start from the beginning. By the way, Call of Dragons at the beginning are extremely nice game. I want to have some feature here like retraining troops. You can retrain tier 3 infantry to mages, but anyway, it's a topic for other video. So yeah, at the beginning, resources are very important for building your castle, training, researches, everything. Resources is with crucial importance. That's why I strongly suggest at the beginning go with cavalry if you want to do PvP, because everybody are farming. They need that resources. The moment you kill the donkeys, they're not going to do their free healing and heal that donkeys. They're going to put infantry inside, and you're going to get leverage over the number of troops is going to be in the mine and also the heroes, because they're not going to send Lilia to farm. Is going to send Chakcha, for example. So yeah, there is a hidden tips here and there, but in general, resources with crucial importance at the beginning, and later at the end game is only for healing. You need resources for the healing. The moment you have decent amount of resources, you can sustain more on the battlefield. You can fight longer. But yeah, with the tips, with the elixirs, with constant engagement with the enemy, you're not going to have that big struggles there. How to balance mana, gold, ore, and wood? Well, here's the thing. The thing I go and actually check it out is I have a main troop. Crucial importance. Have one main troop. If you're a WoW spender like me, if you're a med spender, you can maybe go with two. If you're well, you can go whatever you like. But if you're a WoW spender like me, go with single troop. The reasons: less expensive. You're going to focus over a single troop, so the heroes there is going to be presented every 4 seasons. You're going to be presented with 2 new heroes. So 4 seasons, let's say 1 season is 2 months. For example, you're going to have like every 8 months presented new heroes, if my calculations are correct. So you're going to be able to gather some hits and blah blah blah. Sorry, this topic for other video. But in general, I check my troops, which troop I heal. And if I want to do a resource healing over my mages, I check what is needed to heal my mages. Every troop have, except mana. Mana is, yeah, we all know about the mana. But I check, do I need more woods? Do I need more ore? And how much gold I need? So by healing my Vestals and Celestials, I actually need 2 times less gold from wood and ore. So 2 of my legions, I say at the beginning of the video that I'm going to share with you why I go with 2 woods and why I go with 2 ores and 1 gold, is just because I don't need that much gold for healing my mages. And this is the main reason I go. So this is how I manage my resources in the castle: gold, wood, and ore. Mana is consistent, is farmed by my main account. If you don't have farm, just with your main account, go for 2 or 3 mines of mana, and you can go with 2 or 3. You can go with wood and ore, for example. Not that much important the gold, but yeah, from time to time you have to also gather gold. If you're a mage main like me, just it is what it is. Mana is extremely expensive. It's less in the node, so you have to be careful with the resource management. What is the best way to farm mana fast? Well, here's the thing. It's about the heroes and the talents they have. Now, it's going to be constant how much you're going to get from your castle. It's going to be constant how much you can actually gather on the field. By, for example, sending 3 legions on the field, farming mana, you actually sacrifice either ore, either wood, or gold. But here we are talking about getting more mana and not changing anything. And here's the thing. I have a heroes that currently is not with these talents, but I was using Indies back in the days. And Indies, actually, I have this talent, is having a lay of the land. Now, what these things do is, when your legion has been gathering resource for 1 hour and complete the task, production of that resources in your city is increased by 50% for 1 hour. So I have a single hero that is always going for mana. This single hero, after he finish, is going to increase the production of my mana in my castle. In the same time, the rest of the heroes is having windfall, and this windfall is giving you 3 chests when you finish your node. So I'm going to get, let's say, the same amount of as percentage wood or ore or gold or mana, but in the same time I'm also boosting the production in my city. And the production in the city, I think somewhere I calculated, is around 2 million mana per day. So you're going to boost that. This is the most efficient way I saw so far in Call of Dragons. So you can get more mana. How do I manage resources during the long battles? Well, it strongly depends when this battle starts and how much pressure you have over you. Well, in my season, when I was with BTR, we get betrayed and we end up 2 against 4. Well, this is the reason I spent more resources from my previous 4 seasons. Because from nowhere, we get huge pressure from everywhere. So in case like this, if you want to at least survive couple days, well, you have to touch your resources. But in general, if there is not that much pressure, if the things are balanced, you're not going to have this big issue. But if you get huge pressure over you by huge power against you, or the officers or leaders say, yo, we have to take that. We have to take that. No matter what we do, we have to do it. You have to be prepared with some resources and long fights. But in general, again, by the season going, you want to be active in these small skirmishes here and there, or in the big pushes. The big pushes is going to give you the most merits because you're going to be with huge bow of your alliance people in this bow with their mages, and the traits of the merits is way better, especially if you fight under alliance territory. This is one of the best thing you can actually end up doing, fighting under alliance territory and gathering all the resources you want to gather from the shop. Now here's the thing, from the shop, the daily shop, I think you need little improvement because they are the things that when I do the refresh for 100 gems, the value of the currency that is going to be presented can be resources, some medals, or whatever. Sometimes don't cover even my refresh as a gems. So maybe the game can actually do something in this direction. But for weekly is a must do, must refresh, must get because they are like the best rewards. Why do players run out from resources quickly? Well, this is very this is a question that is different for every player, but I can say what I see for some players that complain from not having resources is either they are in extremely competitive alliance. That alliance is like we can go alone against everybody. This is the big struggles from resources that come. Or some people who was AFK the first 30 days from the season, and I end up was I don't know how many days left till the season end, and they need to cover some requirements from the alliance about the merits. And yeah, if you finish your elixirs or whatever, and since he was not that active, maybe with one word, not active players through the kingdom is the players that is going to finish their resources extremely fast because they have to get big number of merits in short time. And at some point, you're going to finish your free healing, so you have to touch your resources in situation like this. What's the best artifact for resource farming? My favorite one so far is a Greenfinger Psycho, and the main reason is with this Psycho I can actually finish my quests. You know, when you have a daily quest to get the chest, it's like gather 100k ore. With this thing, I can immediately just go to the ore, Psycho the ore, get what I need, and continue farming mana. This is my favorite artifact. Of course, artifacts with gathering speed, artifacts with watt capacity. All these artifacts. Okay, maybe the watt capacity not that important, especially if you have decent amount of farming units. It can be workhorses or work rhinos or whatever. But yeah, everything with gathering speed I think is extremely valuable. And this is the artifacts. There are not that many to start with. We don't have that many artifacts that is providing with gathering speed. But yeah. Okay, so the next question. Sorry, I get distracted for it. How do resource buffs impact the gameplay? Well, the resource buffs most likely is when you get this fast gathering from the alliance technology, where you increase, your gathering speed. Alliance buff can be actually when you get the title that is increasing your gathering speed. It's also some good place where you can get some boost of the resources, but it's not impacting the game that much. It's just something in extra. Of course, this is from the alliance. From your side, you can go in your chest and get some boosts. That is going to be like 50% gathering speed, 8 hours, or maybe for 24-hour. Didn't actually matter. Of course, they cost some resources, but I'll calculate that, and it's way more valuable if you have like 5 legions going outside to have this 50% gathering speed. Even though the number is crazy. About the gathering. If you see your castle, if you're one of the oldest players, just click on your castle and see how much gathering speed buff you get. But yeah, this is the way. What is the most common resource management mistake? Well, to not actually do PvP smart. At some point, the resource is going to go only for PvP. If you don't do smart PvP, you're going to have problems. And it is what it is. Or just healing. Here's the thing. Here is one tip I can actually give you. Is I'm mage main. I heal with elixirs my tier 5 mages, and I do resource healing sometimes over the infantry. But yeah, I always be extremely careful with my resource spendings. So I have a lot of resources, but if I say, okay, let's do some brutal, fighting and spend tons of resources, I'm not going to have resources next time. So you have to be careful there. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new to this channel, become a member if you want to support the channel, and also get some extra benefits. And see you in the next video.